How the heck are you, everybody? I am Fastidious. In this video, I want to talk about two things. How do you build Anora? Anora's coming up on exclusive limited rate up this weekend, kicking off tomorrow, and she is phenomenal. But she's actually one of the more unique characters in this game when it comes to gearing because of some things in her kit that restrict her, but also make her a great candidate for an alternative kind of build I want to show off here. And then the second thing I want to talk about, obviously, should you summon for Anora? So I actually think that's probably where we're going to kick this video off, and then the second half, we'll be going over how to build her. The first half's going to be pretty short, though, because I would say 98% of players, full stop, should be going for Anora without any real condition. And part of this is because of how good Anora is, and she is very, very good, especially if you can get Ymiret and unlock this bond skill over here. For certain content, she has an argument to be the best magic AoE mage in the game. She is that special. And with how much they're boosting summoner comps, these cultist summoner comps, the synergy she brings there with this damage increase, it's pretty special. So like an Anora Beelzebub comp is something very cool. If you're hoping to see gameplay, I will have an Anora guide coming out probably on Friday. So 2 days after this video goes live. If you're watching this video in the future, I'm sure that video is already out. But if you're watching it now, let me know in the comments below what content specifically you want to see me show her off in the guide and break her down. In this video, we'll briefly go through her kit, but I mostly want to focus on her gearing and should you summon for her. So right now, when I'm filming this, it is April 16th, 2025. And wow, mid-April, Easter, Watcher of Realms festivities are insane right now. Truly they are. We have been getting so many freebies. We logged in 2 days ago and they gave us 28 Ancients and 2 Mythic Essence. There's just all this stuff they're throwing at us. But probably the most exciting thing is this trio of banners. So starting tomorrow on the 17th, we get the Anora Limited. This is going to run for 5 days, from the 17th to the 21st. So all the way through, I believe it will be Monday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Then we are getting Talin and Lyra, 2 phenomenal heroes, and that is going to overlap with Anora. So later on today, actually, already, I'll have a video talking about pity manipulation and how if you're interested in both these banners, you can leverage the 200 guarantee here to, in some cases, get a wholly free legendary. In others, just get a very discounted legendary. So I'll explain that later in the day. If you want, I already have very deep, in-depth guides available on YouTube for pity manipulation. This is a very fun banner. Talin especially is just so crazy unique. And actually, Lyra is a superstar for Abyss 1 and any kind of single target boss content where you need huge damage and huge magic resurrection, but we'll talk about that tomorrow as well. And then finally, we've got this banner here, Ymiret and Valderon, one of the 2 unnamables in the game right now, one of the 2 dragons, and the incredible partner for Anora. The bond skill Anora gives Ymiret is great. The bond skill Ymiret gives Anora is crazy. And then Valderon, top 3 legendary lord in the game. Also, guys, we are doing big pulls parties live here on YouTube and also on Twitch for these 3 crazy banners coming up this weekend. So if you want to sign up, you can find these forms, these links to sign up in the description or the top pinned comment, or you can join my Discord, The Fast and Fastidious, where the second these signups go live, they will be posted. So you'll see Thursday, April the 17th, we've got Anora, that's tomorrow. Then Friday, we've got Talin, Lyra, and Anora. This is for people most interested in Talin and Lyra, or people doing pity manipulation, and then a big Ancients party on Saturday for Valderon and Ymiret. Again, the sign-up forms are in the description and the top pinned comment. So quite an interesting time, but it all kicks off tomorrow with this banner, the Argent Summoning for Anora. This is a 200 guaranteed exclusive limited banner. So what does that mean? It means as you summon on this banner, there's a tally that will be like here in the middle on the bottom of your screen, counting up from 0 to 200. If you have not hit the featured hero, so in this case, Anora, by your 200th summon, on number 200, it is guaranteed to be her. There's no other qualification. Of course, if you hit her earlier, the guarantee has already been filled. It's by 200, but you know if you've gone 199, that 200th one, you've gone to 199 summons and you haven't hit her yet, that 200th one will be her. So this is just a no-brainer banner for anyone that's prepared, because whether you have Anora already, this is her first rerun ever. The second time they're doing her banner, they did it for the first time summer 2024 for the anniversary. So some people might have a copy. Some people might have a copy with some awakenings. I don't know how crazy people went on that banner. But whether you have a copy No copy, a copy with a couple of awakenings. As long as you don't have her A5 and you've got the summons to do this, she is a good enough hero, and these exclusives are powerful enough that when it's in your control, because it's only 200 summons, which if you're a new player might sound like a lot, but with the amount of freebies they throw at us and the amount you can earn summons and diamonds in this game, it's actually insanely attainable if you're prepared at all. So if you're prepared, you should be going for this. You know, if you have her already, you're going to want a free awakening, essentially free, because it's going to be worst case 200 summons. And if you don't have her, obviously you want to pick up a copy. I'll say also for new players, it's coming with Idril, who, especially if you're very new and you don't have A5 Idril yet, that is a huge, huge pickup. But basically everyone should go for it. So who shouldn't go for it? I'll tell you, if for some reason you're not prepared, I don't think everyone's going to be as prepared as I am here. Almost 200 blue summons already and almost 100,000 diamonds. But, you know, to be prepared, you would only need to be heading into this weekend with, I don't know, let's call it 120 rares total worth of everything. Because remember, they're going to give you a lot of freebies still. You'll probably earn about 20 to 30 over the weekend. So maybe you need 140 of combined summoning power between the rares and the diamonds. And then as you summon, I think you only need, it's like 173, because on average, you're going to get a nice chunk of rares every 10 pull, typically 4 rares every 10 pull. And every rare you get, you can go sell and get a diamond rebate of 30 diamonds per rare. So typically every 10 pull, you're getting 120 diamonds back. I have a calculator for that on my website. You guys can check it out. But essentially, if you're prepared at all to go for this, I don't see any situation someone shouldn't. The only situations are you already have her A5 somehow, in which case, yeah, you don't need more than that. And then the other one would be if somehow you're just completely unprepared. So like we've known this was coming for like 2 weeks now, but if you didn't save, you blew everything last weekend, I could see you being in a tight spot. I would still probably recommend going for her if you don't have her in that case, because it's a worthy gamble since she's so rare as an exclusive limited. You know, once this banner goes away, she is gone until the banner returns. And she's just very strong, and the way her kit's set up, you could see her just getting stronger and stronger. But if you don't have enough and you really want to pick up Lyra and or Talin, maybe that's where you gamble, or maybe you save for the next thing. I don't know. This obviously is a great banner, but ideally people will be ping-ponging between the two, doing a little pity manipulation. But long story short, Anora is fantastic, especially, you know, if you can get Ymiret, she goes to a whole nother level. However, she just was buffed. At the time of filming this, she literally just got a buff, and it's pretty significant. So I'll show you guys that right now. If we go to system notice here, update announcement, there you go. So her cost was reduced, so she's cheaper to use. This is really important for like early and mid-game players where cost can be an issue. So from 22, which is a little expensive, to 19, which is the standard for mages in this game. But as basically an AoE mage, that is pretty dang good. 19 is fairly cheap. And then here, this might look like a nerf, but it's actually a buff. The stacks you can get here from Ancient Spirit have gone down from 15 to 6. However, the power of each stack has gone up from 1% to 3% in terms of an increase in attack, in terms of an attack boost. So you can do the math. 15 times 1 is 15. 6 times 3 is 18. So actually, you're getting 3% more attack boost in the end when you have full stacks. And because it's less stacks, you will stack it up higher. So this is a damage boost. And then finally, you can see with Worm Dive here, her ultimate, her basic attack range will expand. The way her ultimate works, it's a big burst, and then there's a continued period of time where she's kind of revved up doing extra damage, and now her basic attack range is expanded. That's pretty nice, especially in like a Guild Wars defense. She can just hit a lot farther. It's really annoying. And then finally, for those of you looking to pick up the First Awakening this weekend, or maybe you'll just get lucky and pick up 2 copies, you'll get a base and Awaken 1. When Noxious Breath is activated, you're going to see that immediately it's going to inflict a mobilized state, not just for 1 second as previously, for 2 seconds. And a mobilized state is effectively a stun. Their speed goes down to 0, so they're just stopped in their tracks, and they'll just be motionless. 8 enemies in range will be motionless for 2 seconds. So she's just very strong. She seems to be getting stronger. They seem to be pushing a summoner meta, and she is a summoner, and she empowers summoners as well, making them stronger. So let's so quickly talk about her kit. Like I said, 2 days from now, I'll have a big guide on her, so you can look forward to that for like a really deep dive. But essentially, she summons this dragon, Labor. It's kind of funny. The dragon's called Labor, but then her like partner dragon is Ymiret. She just really gets around with the dragons, I guess. But this Labor is going to do a lot of damage, do a lot of attacks alongside her. She's got this special thing here called Sanctity. So the second part of this video, when we talk about how to build her, This is really important. She is immune to a lot of debuffs, which makes her very strong. Like, she can't be frozen. She's invulnerable to a lot of these things that can make her weaker. However, she's also immune to a lot of buffs. She does not get rage regen boosts from Eloin or Hollow, for example. If you put her in a really good classic DPS set like a Soulbound Arcana, those damage increase stacks, they count as a buff and they don't affect her. So there's a special way you were going to want to build her. But you'll see it kind of is a natural trade-off because the rest of the kit is so strong, and it does enable a unique build. Here you can see Labor is going to gain these stacks of Ancient Spirit, as we discussed. Previously, you would get 15 stacks. This is whenever an allied summon died. So you would have to have her with another summoner, and that summoner would have to have summons die 15 times to bring this up to a 15% boost. Now any of your allies need to have their summons die only 6 times, and now the Ancient Spirit's 3%, so you get an 18% boost. It actually is a really significant buff, especially for shorter battles. Her basic here, you can see the typical range. It does get expanded with Worm Dive on the ultimate, as you can see, as they talked about in the new notes. Actually, let me show you her stats by showing you her fully skilled up. So let me pull up my Anora now, and this will be a natural transition for when we go over how to build her. You'll see here, she does 100% AoE magic damage up to 5 enemies. This is at max skill ups. And then Labor over here, he's also doing damage with her. He's inheriting her stats, and he's going to do big damage as well, 90% AoE damage. Remember, if you unlock her bond skill by picking up Ymiret, instead of summoning Labor, she summons Labor Ice, who does a lot of amazing things, puts out Winter's Bite, great stuff like that, but just inherently does more damage as well. So instead of 90%, it's 110% AoE damage and increased damage to crowd control units. And then there's the Winter's Bite. Really, really, really strong. The ultimate here, we kind of talked about it. It's a big burst, but then it does continue. So the burst initially is going to be 360% AoE damage to 10 enemies. However, during the ultimate now, Labor, the summon, the dragon alongside of her, he's doing increased damage 150%, and the attack range and the damage range is increased. But additionally now, Anora's basic attack range is increased as well. So they're both attacking during this period. It's actually a ton of damage. You'll just want to time out when you do that burst, because first it's the AoE burst, and then you get this continued period of boosted everything. Now we've got this passive here. When Labor attacks, there's a 20% chance to generate Noxious Breath. When the ultimate is triggered, generates Noxious Breath immediately. So you can see the ultimate triggers Noxious Breath. Labor always has a 1 in 5 chance to do it. And this has that synergy with the A1 we discussed, where now you get the extra crowd control and you get the immobilized state. Finally, the thing that's going to, I think, make her very evergreen in this game, she's already excellent and she's fantastic if you get Ymiret to unlock this bond skill. But this passive, because they seem to be pushing summoners more and more and more, she is buffing Labor here. You can see naturally Labor has his attack increased by 15%, the summon she does. But moreover, other allies get a damage increase of 10% just by being on the field with Anora. So combine that with someone like Beelzebub, who has a great passive here, where the attack interval of allied summons adjacent to his summons will go down. So he's making people faster and attack more. And then you've got someone like Anora who's making those attacks deal more damage. There's a lot of cool summoning stuff happening. Beelzebub actually just got a little buff as well. But there you have it. She's really good. As you can tell, I think most people should be summoning for her. There you have her. That's how to build Anora, and that is my opinion on should you summon. Short answer, that's how you build her. And short answer, should you summon? Yes. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comment section below. I've been Fastidious. Share with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.